What's up, everybody? What's up, MGTOW? So, today I wanted to talk about censorship and misrepresentation. Now, these two topics are related, at least when it comes to the whole YouTube thing and MGTOW on YouTube. First, I'd just like to look at the censorship part of it, and just from looking since the last kind of big demonetization push or just getting rid of channels, I guess it was the Vox adpocalypse or whatever, it's just really interesting to see the wake of that event and the fact that some of the news channels that I watch, they can't repeat words that are on the national news. So you got people on YouTube and there's an article or somebody just presented something on national news and the person on YouTube can't repeat the same words that are on the national news. Now, that's just crazy because the national news, any words that are on the national news should be able to be spoken in common parlance at any time. I mean, they don't use swear words or anything like that. So any words that they say on the national news used to set the standard for speech in the country, where it's like, that's how you talk if you want to sound professional, is sound like a newscaster. So the fact that you can't even use words that they're using is just it's ridiculous when it comes down to it. That these people are censoring themselves so much just for the monetization. And I mean, nothing against being monetized, but I mean, where does it end? I mean, if YouTube tells you that you have to film a video with your thumb up your ass the whole time, and you have to have a little thumb cam on your, and like put your thumb in your ass in the corner of the video while you're presenting the video, otherwise you can't post videos anymore. I mean, you still want to be monetized? So, looking at the algorithm, which is a huge part of the censorship problem, at least the way I see it, and just looking from my anecdotal observations of the algorithm, you can see some interesting changes since that last Vox adpocalypse. For one, like in my home screen, I don't really get recommended anything that's not PG-13. So like any of the kind of MGTOW channels or conspiracy channels or anything that has adult topics with people cursing in it and things like that, they won't get recommended to me on my home screen. Now, the recommendations that come up on the side, I've noticed, are different than the recommendations that come up on the home screen. So like, for instance, if I'm watching a music video, then there'll be other music channels or music videos recommended to me. If I'm watching news, then other news videos will be recommended to me. But when I'm watching MGTOW videos, then they recommend a mixture of news and music videos and other things. And a lot of the stuff I'm not even interested in. Like, for example, they're constantly recommending to me to watch Ben Shapiro. But I don't watch Ben Shapiro, I never watch Ben Shapiro. But his channel constantly comes up in my recommended feeds for some reason. And then a channel like English Dave, where I've pretty much watched every video that he's put out for the past like year or so, I never get a recommendation from him on the side or on the homepage. So to me, at least, from my perspective, it seems as though they've just completely banned MGTOW channels from being able to be recommended. And then on top of it, if you put the age restriction on, which I've done to a lot of my videos, you're definitely not going to get recommended to anyone. And I mean, that's how I used to find MGTOW channels. I would watch a MGTOW video, other MGTOW channels would be on the side. I would click on them, watch those. That doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist for the conspiracy theory and some political channels, but the bigger, more kind of center-right channels like a Ben Shapiro or somebody like that, I still get recommended people like that, which is interesting. Now, the same thing could be said about channel growth. When I look at people outside of MGTOW, like whether it's in the conspiracy or news type of videos, or even some music channels, you can see that there's a sustained growth. even if it's a small growth. It's like, oh, the next I went there, they had 1,000 subscribers. Now they have, 1,500. Oh, now they have 2,000. And you see that in most of the other genres, where it's like news channels or certain types of other music channels and conspiracy channels, things like that. You'll see some growth. But again, excuse me. But again, with MGTOW channels, you don't see any growth. Like, I've been watching Redshift's channel for like a year or so, and at first, before all his demonetizations, his channel was growing because he had a similar subscriber count to me, and he went past me. And then now I've noticed that his subscriber count hasn't changed, my subscriber count hasn't changed for months. I would say possibly like 6-7 months, my subscriber count hasn't changed at all. And I've noticed that with a lot of other MGTOWs, that their subscriber count just doesn't change. It doesn't change at all. And so that, in combination with the fact that they're at least saying that they're going to start cutting channels and just deleting channels that don't have a lot of subscribers, and they're putting restrictions on people. Like, for example, if you don't have more than 1,000 subscribers, you can't live stream from your phone, and things like that. That they're doing all these things to stop people from entering the market and deleting channels that they just don't like, or basically because I'm sure the server space costs a lot and all these other things, but there's also probably some political reasons behind it as well. And it's just kind of messed up because on one hand, they're demonetizing your channel, shadow banning it, and so you can't get any new subscribers. And then they're saying that they want to cut all the low quality channels with very few subscribers off of their servers for whatever reason that they're saying it is. But they're saying, oh, we got too many low quality channels that don't have high production values and they have low subscriber counts. So it's kind of like a circular argument. We're going to demonetize you because you don't have high production values. And the only way to get high production values is through monetization. And then we're going to cut your channel because you don't have a lot of subscribers. But the only way to get a lot of subscribers is to have high production values that you'd get through monetizing your channel. So you see how it's just a mind fuck. They're basically, we're going to cut you, and we're making up this bullshit reason why, when the actuality is that we're the ones that demonetized you and shadow banned your channel, and then we're telling you that you suck. Now, to me personally, I don't care too much about subscriber counts and all that type of stuff, and I'm not monetized at all. But I mean, I guess for anyone, you'd like to see some value for your work. I mean, if you're basically just shouting into the abyss and nobody's watching your channel and it does get to a point where it's kind of like pointless. And I think that's what they want. They want you to feel like, well, I'm not getting any subscribers, I'm not getting any views, and I might as well just stop making videos because there's no point to it. Because, I mean, even somebody like me that doesn't care too much about subscribers, I mean, I do put in work and effort, or at least I used to put in a lot more effort into the videos. And so it does suck to just get zero value for it. And also, I guess the thing that sucks to me more is just, it would be nice to be able to have some interactions with some of the bigger channels that have these huge voices, either in MGTOW or other types of genres. And the only way people find it appropriate to have a discussion with you or debate or any type of interaction is if you have a high subscriber count. So having a low subscriber count and low views not only makes your channel lower quality and then lower views, but it also limits your ability to interact with other people in the genre on YouTube. So this kind of brings me to my second point, which is the misrepresentation of MGTOW. Because again, if your channel's small, you got low subscribers, you can't interact with other channels, And then you have larger channels that are not in MGTOW, that are in other genres, that are misrepresenting and disparaging MGTOW, and they've got a bigger voice on YouTube because they're not getting demonetized, they're not getting shadow banned, and then they're saying incorrect things about MGTOW, and they're getting tons and tons of views, and people that are trying to give factual information about MGTOW can't get views, and so therefore they can't rebut the comments about MGTOW. So you can see how this is all kind of working together. You got people that talk negatively about MGTOW get more views and more, monetization from YouTube. Therefore, it's just a circular thing. It's a feedback loop. So if you talk negatively about MGTOW, you get more views from YouTube, and then it makes MGTOW look bad. So more specifically, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I try to just let it go, because sure, the whole Vox Day thing, and Vox Day was talking crap about MGTOW, which I didn't even watch that because it's like he's always talking crap about everybody that's not him. But then I saw a video by Monday Blue, or Blue Monday, I think it's Monday Blue, and Max Egan, all within the same week, or last week, which they were misrepresenting MGTOW. Now, Monday Blue's kind of statement or whatever against MGTOW is funny because it kind of does prove the TFM thesis that incels or forever alone are basically just the opposite of pickup artists. Because the argument or statement that he was presenting in his video, I'm not sure if he was trying to defend MGTOW, but it didn't really sound like it. It just sounded like he was just saying that, yeah, MGTOW is not what Vox Day said, but it's still bad. And so Monday's argument was basically that it was the opposite of a Jordan Peterson argument. So he was saying that, well, these guys, they can't man up. Something happened in society, and society messed these guys up, or they're dysfunctional, and all these type of kind of like words that you use to just kind of marginalize somebody and say, oh, well, they're this, they're dysfunctional, or they're that, they're this, they're that, some type of negative thing, so that they can't man up because they had a bad upbringing, they didn't have the right social networks or whatever, these type of things. And then he also kind of, instead of saying that the older guys that got divorced, raped, and burnt, whatever, are weasels, instead of saying that they're weasels and they're trying to, corrupt these younger MGTOW, he's just kind of saying that the older MGTOW they're ignorant. They just didn't know any better, and they got screwed over, which kind of goes to his second kind of point, which is the PUA point, but it's the opposite of the PUA point, because he's saying you can't choose the right one. There is no right one. Anyone that was the right one already got married in her 20s, and so therefore there is no right one. But then what does he say to the older guys that got married in their 20s and were in the military and things like that, and they thought they chose the right one, but they didn't? So the whole choose the right one argument, but it's, instead of saying you got to choose the right one, he's just saying you can't choose the right one because the right one's already married to Mr. Right, and you're not Mr. Right. You're dysfunctional social network type of person, and that's why you can't get in a relationship. And that's even assuming that a lot of MGTOW guys want to be in relationships. So his whole kind of approach to the topic just seems off, because whenever somebody talks about MGTOW and they talk about why men are making the choices, and they start talking about social networks and their upbringing and all this other stuff, and they don't mention the laws and how fucked up divorce laws are, and actually say the word laws, not just like, oh, well, relationships end and, it's bad. No, actually say the laws, the divorce laws, the child custody laws, the false rape accusation laws. These laws are the reason why I would say at least like 75 to 80% of MGTOW are fully going MGTOW. It's not just because they're afraid of women. They can't talk to women. They can't stand up to a woman. They can't stand up to the police. They can't stand up to the military. They're afraid of getting put in jail. It has nothing to do with women. And yes, MGTOW talk about women a lot, but for somebody like Monday who claims to understand the social science a lot, I just don't see it. I don't see, like, he's not talking about the laws and the legal aspect of MGTOW. Now, Max Egan also I was watching a video. He's like, oh yeah. And then women are going to be lonely due to MGTOW. I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said, but just the way that he put it, he was like, oh yeah, and it's sad because all you women are going to be lonely in the future because of this evil MGTOW movement that's, they're the ones that are pushing men and women apart, and men, these MGTOW men they're destroying society and they're destroying the family. It's the same kind of like tradcon argument that MGTOW are somehow causing the rift between men and women. Again, not the laws, not women marching in the streets saying that we want the right to kill a 9-month-old fetus or about to be born baby. It's not the fact that women are literally putting men in jail for giving them hugs in a photo. No. It's these guys on the internet talking about the fact that these women are doing these things to men. They're causing the problem. Basically, saying MGTOW is causing the rift between men and women, saying that MGTOW is causing the problems in society that are caused by the intersexual competition or whatever, is basically like saying that a bunch of people that are running out of a burning building are causing the fire. Oh my God. We'll call them the, people getting out of the fire movement. Okay, so the people that are getting out of the fire movement are running out of the building that's on fire because some old crackhead lady lit the building on fire when she fell asleep with a cigarette, right? So that's the actual cause. But the people running out, and then Max Egan standing there, you guys are running out of the building too fast. You guys are causing that fire. All that friction between your legs running out of the building is causing the fire. You're running out of the building. You're the one causing the fire. I mean, you see how retarded that is? I mean, to say that MGTOW is causing the rift between men and women, you might as well say that a guy jumping out of the 3rd story of a flaming building is causing the fire. No, they're just trying to get out of the flaming building. They're not causing the fire. And the person that's causing the fire is probably still in their bed, sleep, getting lit on fire. And that's more what's happening. So, yeah. Really, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Just the fact that, the censorship kind of leads into the misrepresentation, because the people that aren't getting censored, that stay monetized and stay within the bounds of YouTube's thumb up your ass video content creation, they're fine. And they can say whatever they want about any of the other groups that are already on YouTube's shit list. And they get more views from it. And they get more recommendations from it. But then the people that have something to say about their own thing, they're shadow banned, they're demonetized. And so they can't respond to people. So that's it. Hope you guys have a good day, and go MGTOW.